This is 615 Midland Avenue in Wilkinsburg. As you can see, the street has a bit of a hill to it. It's actually a brick road. Looking at the house. As we look at the house, we can see that there's a pretty old 3-tab shingle, but I think the rest of the roof is actually a flat top, so I can't see that, but we're just talking about that as like a little awning like right here, and then the one above at the main part of the roof. There's been a lot of repointing done, so that all looks fine. Not too concerned yet. There are some interesting structural mechanics in the basement. We'll get to that in a minute though. There. Here's a little, like, this is Dell, which is a tiny little street, and it goes to the garage around back. As far as the actual street, it's not like super skinny or anything, but it's also not the widest street in the world. You can see there's having some issues with this storm drain here and some of the bricks. But yeah, okay. So let's move on in the yard in the front. It's pretty nice. That is 8 over there, and it's a pretty busy road, so there's always going to be a good bit of noise, as you can hear now. All right, let's moving inward. Okay. These are the original oak floors, and they look in pretty good shape. No complaints here. Nice tall ceilings, big room. I would estimate the ceilings to be right around, just maybe 9 feet or just under. Nice windows, really good light in here. They did a good job with painting. This is all drywall, I believe. In here, some nice built-ins, more good windows. As you can see, there's radiator heat. That's what those are covering. Step back and just kind of take an overall view. Okay. Move into the kitchen, where they've lifted the floor, so they put in a new floor. Butcher block countertops. These are older cabinets that have been repainted. They put it in a new backsplash. It's not a sticker. Yeah, I mean, it's really not a bad little kitchen. It's pretty cute. This is the deck off of the back porch, which goes right over the garage. And this is the painting that we want to see on, flat top roofs. It does look like it could be redone. Like, you can see some cracking over here. But it's not in total disrepair by any means. Flat top roofs just need a lot of maintenance in general. Okay. And this is off to the side. It goes down, and that's the door to the basement below us. Okay. Let's go ahead and go back in. And we're gonna do the basement last, and we'll walk to the garage from there. So that's this side. These steps have been painted, but they're wood, and they seem in good repair. Anytime we see outlets in the baseboards like that, we get a little bit concerned that there might be knob and tube, but it is 3-prong. Most of the switches don't indicate knob and tube, and when we look in the basement at the panel, the stuff coming out of the panel doesn't look like knob and tube, and looks like the knob and tube is cut out. So I don't think there is. I think they just fed things through the walls as efficiently as possible. This bathroom is pretty small. It is just a shower pan, but it's like right next to the toilet, and right behind me is this radiator. So as you can see, actual sitting wise on the toilet is mildly uncomfortable, especially probably when the heat's on full blast. But They maximized as much space as they could. You got this little place to put whatever's, cleaning materials, and then this is a medicine cabinet as well. So for as small as the footprint is, and it's still a pretty workable bathroom, it's just kind of annoying to squeeze into all of the spots. The wood up here was oak. They painted it this gray color. You know, it doesn't look like it's in bad repair or anything. I haven't seen any holes or any weak points. Typical Pittsburgh closet. It's not like super wide or anything. It's just a tiny little closet. As far as this bedroom is concerned, you could, on this wall, probably put a full size, or like where that indent is to there, I think a queen would just barely fit, but certainly not a king. And even if you did put a queen there, you would be bumping up against the wall. So it's a smaller bedroom, but it's not the smallest in Pittsburgh by any means. And then we have this bedroom, which is a little bit bigger. You have that huge radiator over there. You could easily fit a king off of this wall if you wanted and still have room for furniture along the sides. The bigger constraint is that the bed would probably end up right about there. So this door would open freely without touching the bed, but there's not a ton of walking all the way around. Another small Pittsburgh closet. We have the third bedroom over here. Again, you could easily fit a king off of this wall if you'd like. Again, the harder point is it would probably come up to about like here. We have this funny little organizing closet system behind here because there are such small closets everywhere. They needed more space. As you can see, there's window AC, so there's not any ductwork anywhere. It's all hot water, forced hot water boiler heat. This bedroom is teeny tiny. It would be more of like an office. You could put, I think the only thing you could maybe do is a lofted bed on this wall or something, or I don't know, because if you put it on this wall, I'm not sure you can actually walk from around the open door. Like I think it would actually bump all the way to about here. So this is a very small bedroom. And this would have gone up to the attic space, but it is currently closed off. So it's really just a closet. And since this is a flat top roof, there really isn't an attic space. I'm not super sure what that was ever, other than this closet. So I don't think they like retrofitted a flat piece up there, just to stop you from going up. I just don't think it exists. But if you wanted, a rooftop entrance, you already have stair access to do so. Let's go to the basement. Oh, I forgot to note, we have vinyl floor kind of at that landing as soon as you enter, which honestly is pretty nice because vinyl is very easy to clean and hard to mess up. Right, go. So as I said before, the basement was kind of weird. We've got lots of different kinds of cinder block down here. And we've got wall anchors on, this is the front wall that goes towards the front yard. I did notice like a big pit kind of out there. I don't know if they were like a dirt pit. I don't know if that was because of the wall anchors, but these wall anchors look really old, so I don't think so. But I just don't know. But what I meant by like different types of cinders, like notice how flat these are and these are not. And then look at the back wall and we've got totally different cinder blocks over here. And same with this wall. It's all flat cinders and then it's a bumpy cinder everywhere else. I have no idea what happened or why or anything. And it doesn't even look like these walls are all that out of plumb or anything. There's a little bit of staircase cracking back here. Doesn't look terrible. I'm really not too concerned about it. But with all of the pointing issues, it would be worth investigating a little bit more probably. As far as these supports, this is your main LVL right here, this beam. We have one real support. I can't tell if they broke up the concrete to put a footer there or if it just cracked through because there was never a footer. And then these two look like they're on footers, but they're also just temporary posts. They're pin posts, and like they're technically, you know, they're bolted in, which is what we want to see if we're having a post like this, I guess. I don't know. With all of the weird little structural things, I just don't love it. Like, no one structural thing makes me feel super scared, but the fact that there's like 4 or 5 little ones, I want someone to come in and just kind of verify everything's okay, I guess. That being said, I haven't noticed any termite damage. I haven't seen any signs of wood rot on any of the joists. We've got good blocking. All of that looks pretty good. This is the boiler. As you can see, all of this rust over here, like it's seen better days. It's not ancient, but I think this boiler is probably like, you know, 30 some odd years old, maybe even 40, but I think 40 is kind of pushing it. Either way, like boilers are meant to last for a super, super long time, 50 to 100 years. I just don't think that this one has been loved as much as it should have been, and so there's probably not a full lifespan in it that we're looking for. As far as the hot water heater, we're not seeing any signs of backdrafting. We're seeing all this junk that fell down on top of it, just like crap, basically. I don't know if that is from this super old expansion tank from the boiler, or if they did woodwork, because like there's a couple new boards up there. See the ones that are different color? Maybe that's just from when they replaced those. I don't even know when they replaced them. They just, because that's all underneath the oak. Like it's just, there's some weird questions here. But as far as the actual boiler itself, it was made in 2018. It's a 40 gallon and 34,000 BTUs. 34,000 BTUs is a little bit low, but 40 gallons is also like kind of the appropriate size for this house. I'd like to see a 50 gallon more, but no huge complaints there. It's not super old. Hot water tanks, you know, we're looking for at least 10 years. So we've got a little bit of life left in this one. Probably at least 2 years, but the Rheem is a good brand, so I wouldn't be too surprised if you got 15 out of it. This CSST gas line, that yellow tube right there, it's supposed to be grounded and it's not. That's pretty minor. You know, I wouldn't worry about that. That's like a few bucks. The electric is over here. It's a 100 amp box. As you can see, it's all Romex coming out. You can see the old knob and tube right there that was cut. So, you know, again, the electric is all looking pretty good. There might be like a random strand here or there that's knob and tube. It's also kind of like surprising because it looked like the feed coming in was going to be bigger than 100 amp, just like the service line. But I imagine upgrading that would be totally possible, especially if you're doing all that work in the garage workshop area. This is the sewer line. It's pretty old. They cut out one tiny little section and they didn't put it clean out in, just kind of frustrating. So like, I don't know how we're gonna get a camera working on this one to see the rest of the line. And I didn't even see like a proper floor drain in here. So like, I really don't know how we're gonna look at the line. We might just have to be looking at insurance options. For this particular sewer line, there might be a fresh air vent outside that I missed. I'm not sure. And I haven't been in the garage yet, but I brought the key with me. So we'll be surprised together. Okay. This is underneath that side porch that we were talking about from the garage. And you can see the backside wall of the garage. There is this crack on this cinder block going all the way through, but it's not super thick. It's only like a millimeter. You can't even see daylight when I go back and forth. So that's good. We have another crack going through a cinder right here and down there. We'll take a look on the inside and see what we can figure out. But I have to imagine that because this house was sitting before they did renovations, that there was just some water kind of pooling right here and it was causing some of that. We're at some weird slopes, so that mostly makes sense. Okay. This is that little alley, and again, we're back to 8 over here. Got some fun art going on the garage wall. This wall, the biggest concern when I parked next to it that I noticed was right here through the B. You can see a large crack going all the way through it that they painted over. It does look like they sealed it, but you know, I'm concerned. And this is what I was talking about. See how thick that line is? Usually those feeding lines, when it's that thick, is a 200 amp, but for some reason the box is only 100 amp. Come into here. This place is huge. Super tall. Oh, there's a whole panel in here. That explains everything. Holy crap. 200 amp box just for the garage. Crazy. Wow. It's really intense. LVL looks in good shape. At least this one. This one they fortified with a pin post on a log. I don't love that. I do like the steel that they put up top. So like kind of grouping all of that LVL back together. Like, see how those are sistered right there? I would like to see a plate connecting those rather than just straight nails all the way through it. You're gonna get a lot more strength if you put a metal brace there. Doesn't have to be as intense as this one, but it would be really nice. I think they probably only put this in here because they were chaining things up that were too heavy. So it probably dipped a little bit and they got concerned and put this in here, but I would like to see a real